I was just talking about, our week in Las Vegas, or with Las Vegas, or week out here in Washington D.C., and how many people came in on their own time, drove down, flew in, showed so much love and support, and how appreciative we are of it. I'm sure you got hundreds of texts. I did as well, and we're excited that we're here to a runoff now. It gives us a chance to double down, educate our members, and keep moving this thing forward. And I know there's a couple topics that we want to hit today. I see that some people are starting to jump on. So let me know when you're ready, and we'll get kicked with it.
Well, let's do it, brother.
Okay. First, we want to say a huge thank you. We'll dive into that a little bit more in a moment. But we're in a runoff. What does that mean to all the NACA members that are out there? It means for president and executive vice president, those Rich and Andrew stay in office until November 3rd. They'll give you some additional timelines associated with that. On September 1st, the new elected RVPs go into place. So John Bratcher will be the Southwest Region RVP on September 1st, and he will then take over as being on the NEB and move forward from there. On October, you'll get ballots mailed to you in approximately 2 weeks, and then our next ballot count is on October 4th. And once we have that ballot count, we'll know who the president and executive vice president are. There is a 30-day transition period where the current, again, Rich and Andrew would stay in place until November 3rd. And then the executive vice president, Mick or Jamal, take office. And then Rich remains as the president, or I take over as the president on November 4th. Those things are important. One, because we are obviously going to engage and encourage everyone to turn out for this vote. We had approximately 9,000 members who didn't take the opportunity to voice or use their voice and cast a ballot in this election. Something that we want to address in this runoff as well. But anything else you want to hit from there, brother?
No, not on that, but just get into some of the stuff that, we plan to do as we go forward. We have to find ways to dialogue with our members. It's clear, and be it people who've already supported us, people who supported the other candidates, be it Redmond, Daley, Santa, or Divine, we want to talk to all of them, and we're blocked out of a certain segment. So people aren't able to actually know who we are. Others are being able to shape a narrative for us. And we need to take control of that narrative. So at least if they say, I'm voting over there, they've heard from us. And we are isolated from a large populace in our union. So we're going to do member forums. We're going to have member forums. I believe 7 is what we have scheduled right now. Nick, correct me if I'm wrong. And we're going to rotate them through days to give opportunities for all members. They'll be different than our town halls in so much as we'll have a topic, but there won't be a region specific. It'll be open to all the members. And as we've shown, we have no desire to duck any questions. The dialogue's there. The shaping of the narrative goes away when you actually take time to hear from both of us. We want you to be able to hear from us. And if then you say, not my flavor, then at least you heard. We didn't feel like we got heard by everybody. Narratives were shaped for us, and we just want to give the members that opportunity. So spread that word. Please join us on the member forums. Some of the regions, we had very few people turn out, and it seemed calculated. We open it up to everybody. We want everybody to show up so we can have open and honest dialogue and really lean into. We learn from just as much as we're able to educate in those opportunities.
And that leads perfectly into talking now in this runoff about the difference between the candidates. Looking at their history, looking at their track record, Daniels-Haltom is the most experienced person in all 4 of us running for the positions, of president and executive vice president. Look at who's actually delivered results. We just had one of the most significant changes there has been in the places people said will never be able to affect or go in and shape, which is academy placement. And Jamal just led that entire effort from there. He actually went in, collaborated with the agency, and now forever moved us another step forward to making sure that we, the union, are part of the narrative that helps the field on where the placement of new hires go.
Yeah, so we have to do that. We have to distinguish ourselves and talk about the differences. the differences between Nick and Rich will have to be displayed. We're a union, right? This isn't Republicans and Democrats or whatever they use in Europe. This is us. This is one union, and somehow this thing got cast into we completely want different things. What we want to do is be heard and give you an option. We certainly have different styles. Nick is engaging and open. Not at all is he deceptive in his answers. We're straightforward, both of us. We feel like that's something that maybe we weren't able to resonate completely with our membership, but we want to as we go forward. One of the things we want to do in order to display those differences is have candidate forums. Candidate forums where there is no light between us, where all the candidates are on stage. It's live streamed out to the membership, and the members get to ask the questions that are pressing to them. Not quick video vignettes, not an opportunity to cut and pause. Look, we send out videos. Sometimes what you see in a 4-minute video took 2 hours to make. It's no different for them. These videos are just a snapshot. But when you have to answer questions from members, when you have to actually stand on what you believe, when you have to provide a path to things like collective bargaining, pay increases, and things like that, that's when it shines through who really knows what they're talking about, who has a plan. Mick Devine is a SAG card carrying actor. He's said that. That's one of his best qualities. He's really good at that. In a video, he can convey a message, but you don't see him in a lot of places. You don't see him conveying messages on behalf of NACA, and it's not because he's an outsider, but we'll get to that later. It's because it's not really a strength of his. So in a video, when there's no pushback, maybe things go one way. But our members, I've been a member since 2007. Our members push back. They want to know what's going on. Those candidate forums will give us an opportunity to do that.
It can't just be surface level conversations. And Jamal, it's something I know that we've approved upon on, this campaign trail, going to 200 different facilities, engaging with the members, hearing the ideas, trying to work through the narratives. This is not a snap your fingers, you select somebody and everything goes and is right. You're choosing the people that have the best chance to actually move us forward, the people that are going to put us in a position of success. But unfortunately, before we get to those things, it seems like we're going to have to be a bit more aggressive. Not that I think that this is something that we desired to do, but to be vocal about dispelling the lies. A lot of times now, in the world that we live in now, somehow you're accused of something on ATC2, on Reddit, and that's just the truth. Okay, fine. We'll address all of it. Whatever we need to do to ensure that the truth is getting out there to the members, that you're being educated, that is what we're going to be about. And as Jamal said, we'll do that through those member forums that we discussed. But there is no more hiding behind just continuing accusing and continuing to barrage, not just Jamal and I, but then attack members of our union and do nothing but attempt to divide. We know that's coming from Rich and Mick's campaigns, and that is going to have to be something that we take on, we address, we own. We're not perfect, and we move forward with.
Absolutely. So, I know you want to thank the people, Nick, so do that, and I'll follow you in that regard.
Well, I appreciate it. And we don't want it to we want you to know, what is it going to look like? Where are we going to go? What is the next 2 months going to look like for you? Yes, unfortunately, that's more emails, that's more messages, but the beauty of it, it's more education. And we do want to say thank you to every single person that cast a ballot for Jamal and I, over 2,000 for each of us. I was, the vote leader for president, but because we didn't have 50% of the vote plus one, since there were 3 candidates, that's how we ended up in the runoff from here. Jamal and I cannot thank you enough for believing and trusting in us. But now it's a chance to not only ensure that we continue to earn your vote. It can't just be about, that's in the bag and, we'll try to go and swoop up everybody else's vote or do something deceptive or anything like that. It's now a further chance to continue in doubling down on making sure that you know who we are, what we're about, and then why there are 9,000 members out there that didn't feel the need or want to cast their vote and be a part of this, entire movement into a union that you all have been screaming for. one that is not continuing in the world of status quo and moving towards change.
Yeah, and that's going to take resolve, and we have resolved. I mean, it. I can tell you, as Nick said, he was the leader in votes for president. I was not. I was second, and it touches you. It says, hey, where did I go wrong? But the resolve is to say, I'm not doing this just for me. I've been a union representative since 2011, and I know that I've done a really good job. I'm proud of that. I need to maybe be a little more vocal about that to distinguish myself, but we're resolved as a team to keep pressing forward, to give our members in NACA a choice. Who do they want to lead the union going forward? And for those 9,000 people that didn't vote, to make sure that they understand and create an interest in this, to say, don't let other people make that determination for you. I did receive messages that says, I didn't think this was going to be close. I didn't think I had to vote. Well, I'm sure the same thing goes for the other side. Nobody won yesterday. We're all in the race. We're all still doing this. So we got to figure out a way. What we can't do is tuck our tails. We have to be proud. We have to move forward. And those that already support us, as Nick said, we don't assume that we have your vote. We're going to continue to work for your vote, and we ask you to help, to reach out to others. This is serious. Our union matters to us. Our job reflects the rest of our lives, how we live, how we earn our amount of time off, how we're respected in our profession affects how we walk around, how we carry ourselves as individuals, as people, and as a collective. It matters. Don't ever think that your vote doesn't matter. And for that 9,000, there's an opportunity. For those 2,000 plus that voted for myself and Nick, and for Mick and Rich, there's an opportunity again to make the determination for how we go forward as NACA.
Yeah, we had a chance to divide here. We had a chance for Jamal and I to look at each other and somehow walk away from everything that we've said. There is zero part of that, but what we have seen is a continuation of lies from the time where we were in San Francisco and had an NEB meeting, and it was a great, wonderful plan and trap to try to say we're going to get Nick Daniels to talk about an extension, and then we're just going to spin that campaign narrative on them of Nick and Jamal want to only extend. They never want to negotiate a contract, and that we on the other side, man, we're only interested in negotiating a contract. Well, we want to be extremely clear, and we're going to double down on how clear we are. Our intent in having that discussion was just to ensure that the membership was educated on what it looks like, what the possibilities out there were. We have said repeatedly, over and over, we have zero desire to extend a contract. And then in the San Francisco NEB meeting, Rich brought to us that he was offered to extend a contract. He had brought in the idea of should we extend or should we not? And given a very set of circumstances, we actually said do not extend unless we have the ability to still negotiate in 2026. That was our direction in a very short manner, is only for his next phone call with Whitaker. But because we live in the world of Reddit, and hey, listen, I'm not just casting that as a horrible thing. It's clearly a place that members feel that it's the only safe place to go to have discussions and that they're getting the inside scoop. Well, we're going to ensure that we help with that, because we don't want to have an inside scoop and a place that you go and you feel safe to talk about it there. We should be able to feel safe because we're a union and we're going to discuss the truth. So you know what? And we're going to take that narrative away. We're going to make sure that you knew Jamal and I have had zero desire to extend a contract. The time has passed that motion was made in San Francisco. It was for Rich because he said he needed a determination right then. And it was only for that moment because it had been set, well, this is my only option. Well, we did not want him to extend, and we wanted him to still make sure that we could negotiate in 2026. Well, now, next week at the NEB meeting, letting everybody know now, we've submitted the agenda item. We will be submitting to rescind that motion so Rich and Mick no longer get to hide behind and bastardizing and changing the intent of that motion. They have decided to try to paint us as the candidates that do not want to negotiate a contract. It is categorically false. We absolutely do, and we will show you that resolve by taking that motion away, I look forward to Rich supporting it since he goes out and touts how much, and I look forward to Mick supporting it, how much they both tout that they are ready to negotiate the next contract. So when you're unshackled from that now, because Rich will be the president to November 4th, you can't hide behind Nick, who's no longer on the NEB after September 1st. And they want to paint it as NDJH. NDJH. Well, guess what? When that passes, because I'm sure Rich and Mick will be right on board with me to rescind it, you're not shackled by it. We look forward to the decision of what the president will do to move us forward. And on November 4th, when I become president, Jamal becomes executive vice president. If you all choose and allow us, we'll pick up the ball from wherever we're at. We will strategize on all fronts, LR, legislatively, and ensure that our collective rights are upheld, that we can move our contract forward, and we'll talk about pay as and compensation in the times leading up to it. We've been saying this for a while, but somehow they got to hide behind it. You'll no longer get to hide behind it when you support my motion to rescind that.
That's awesome, brother. I could tell you, one of the things people say, Jamal, is show more of your personality. I took a lot of strays. I wasn't even in the room. I had nothing to do with any conversation. They were in San Francisco. I was in Washington, D.C., doing my job as the training rep. I wasn't there, but I don't run away from the fact that we do need to communicate with our members. We did have a responsibility to tell our members what the executive orders are and what impact they could have on us as a union. And to this day, we've still not received a collective message from the president of this union informing our members. We keep getting told, we'll do it later, we'll do it later, we'll do it later. It's important that everybody knows what they're dealing with and that this union helps formulate the decision as to how we move forward. So I applaud Nick for having the courage to make sure that everyone knows what's going on with that. And that goes to experience. Experience in this situation has somehow, for those who supported Mick and Redmond, and awesome that you had a candidate to support. No problem with that whatsoever. But what they said in their own words, or I should say what Mr. Redmond said in his own words, was it was a vote of saying we want to cast out the establishment. Well, all you have left is established people. They don't get to pretend they haven't been around. In fact, Mick Devine has been adjacent to or on the National Executive Board since 2017. He was the ARVP in 2017. 2018 forward, he's been the New England RVP. So this notion that he's some outsider that's coming in as a maverick, a new guy, he's been around. He didn't propose anything until he wanted to be your executive vice president. There's a reason why he gets to pretend he's a new guy and I get to be the person that's been around doing all these things, is because NACA has put me forward because I deliver. I'm at CFS speaking. I'm at NACA in Washington speaking. I'm at the convention speaking. He doesn't do any of those things, and there's a reason. We have an open contract right now, an open contract for Region X, actually two open contracts for Region X, and the would-be best negotiator in this union, Mick Devine, somehow absent from those negotiations. Why? Because it's not his skill set, and it's okay that it's not his skill set. I've been on a contract negotiating team, and I kind of set back and allow people to say we didn't improve things from the Red Book to the Slate Book. It's false. We absolutely improved our pay. And then we got inflation. Inflation occurred and it rocked us all. And we've said from the beginning, before they even had any videos, that we need to get to the table to correct that. We need to get our profession back where it needs to be, at the shining stars that we are in aviation. We've said that from the beginning. Somehow it got twisted and we wanted to stay on the high road and not go tit for tat. Well, guess what people did? They assumed that we're not interested in that. How could that be true? They said that the Slate Book was somehow an albatross hanging around us. Meanwhile, Mick and Rich were on the board that extended the Slate Book. So this bait and switch and turning things on us has to stop. The membership needs to know what's going on, and you all can be part of the message. I would encourage everyone to read Article 108 about pay. I would encourage everyone to read Appendix A in the associated MOU so you know. You should know right now that the January raise that people scoff at, that they say is no part of our negotiations, was actually negotiated. We are government employees, but we are exempt from Title V, meaning that we don't have the pay of the rest of the government. We have our own pay structure. We had to negotiate the January raise, and we had to negotiate the June longevity raise. But he's been telling everyone we didn't change anything from the Red Book to the Slate Book. It's just factually false. If people want to lie to you, there's a reason. If people aren't willing to share their experience, if people aren't willing to be in front of you, they're hiding from something from you. We don't hide. We're here. We're going to stay here. It could be easy, like we said, resolve to just say, well, the membership spoke. I'm out of this. We'll double down. I'm going to reach more members. I'm going to speak what I know. I'm going to be part of the conversation. I'm going to continue to learn. We had 200 facility visits. Hopefully, we're able to make more in this short amount of time. And we'll talk to more members, but the message has to be clear. And the message has been clear from the membership that you want engagement. Somehow missed the mark a little bit in the voting, but I'm confident that there's of those 9,000 people, plus those that supported Mr. Redmond and Daley, and even some of those that supported Mick and Rich, will see that we are the best candidates for these positions.
So you've heard, like, the lies have to stop. We're going to make sure that they're called to question. We are going to ensure that the experience of Jamal and I resonate and shine through of why we know we are qualified and we are the best qualified to lead this union. There should be no question when you go to cast the ballot. You shouldn't have to have gone to a Reddit and said, well, I heard about a yacht, which was a regional dinner on the water instead of land. But great, spin the narratives. Let's talk about them. Everything from this lie about hiding behind that Nick and Jamal just want to extend a contract, that'll be taken away too. Until we really get down to the actual issues of this union, and that's finding ways to move us forward and unite us, to bringing us together through education, through activism, and actually having a union that we stand around and be proud of. We're not waiting for the next punchline for somebody out there to talk dirty about us. We're not hearing other entities across the country, like not even just in the United States. We're talking foreign air traffic control unions saying, wow, what's happened in NACA? We need to take our place as the leader in aviation safety and as the leader in labor, as as NACA has been known for, and that we're going to take it to new heights together. That's only going to be done by not hamstringing the next president of the union, if you were to elect me, by putting me with the person that is actually going out there and making, I would say, accusations or being somehow telling you and promising you pay, right? That's what you've heard from Mick, is him pander to pay this entire campaign. He didn't talk about, employee movement, abacus, incept or anything else. It was just about pay. Well, Mick, if I'm elected president, I don't know how else to explain this. The executive vice president doesn't negotiate pay. The president of this union will put together an actual contract team that will go out. So if we somehow believe changing from an RVP to an EVP gives them unfettered right to go out, we want to move pay, but it's going to take the experience of two skilled persons to actually get it done. And Jamal just articulated exactly why. He and I will be the ones that can strategize, that we can push each other and can bring the experience to the table and sit and articulate our positions and ensure that the team is set up for success. Because ultimately, that's setting each and every one of you up for success. No more pandering. No more going out and just saying what needs to be said in order to be elected. The time is now. It's time for all of us to be unapologetically union and unapologetically loud about who we are and what we're going to be, and it's not going to be based on lies.
I will just end with this, that the pay discussion is a discussion that matters to all of our members. You don't just get to say pay and then pay increases. You have to have a strategy. We have people that tell you right now that there is no way to increase pay other than a CBA negotiations. That means they're not willing to actually be part of the job that they're in right now. They're not. The job right now, every day of a union rep, is to move the union forward. When we have an Appendix A, which is a pay and TCI MOU that's already signed, and we're not furthering and moving the ball on that. We have people who have been the administrators of that since 2018, that being Rich and Mick. Since 2018, they've been the administrators, one of the two of them. Since 2018, they've been the administrators of that Appendix A MOU. and they've not moved the ball at all. There's facilities that could have been upgraded. There's certainly facilities that could be saved from downgrades. We have a petition out from some of our facilities led by DCA for a ground complexity multiplier. Ground complexity multiplier has nothing to do with Abacus. Ground complexity multiplier has everything to do with getting our controllers paid for the work that they're doing. You got to have skilled people. To say they can't do that, and then also to tell you that Abacus won't be there until 2030, and what's a contract negotiation going to do then? Think about it. We just need you to think, and we need you to make us think and make us answer questions. So with that, we're happy that you were willing to join us on a live. If anyone wants to, I guess, jump on, ask us a question. I don't really know how live works, not really my thing, but we're here. We've been accessible. We'll remain accessible. We're not going to tuck tail. We're excited for what the next couple months hold, and we hope you join us along the way.
Take care, everybody. We'll talk soon.